Hi, it's Miss Hoig again, and we're going to look at basically kind of a start to finish of the factoring process before we go into actually step by step how to do it. So we are looking with Kelly again. So Kelly wants to find a shortcut to factor 2x squared plus 7x plus 6. She knows that 2x squared and 6 go into the rectangle in the location shown at right. So she's over here. She put 2x squared and her 6 in. She also remembers Casey's pattern for diagonals without actually factoring yet. So this magical thing we don't know how to do yet. What do we know about the missing parts? So, what does Kelly always do? We know that the missing parts have to multiply to whatever this diagonal multiplies to. That's 12x squared. But also, if we were to write this area as a sum, to write that rectangle's area as a sum, we are going to end up with this 2x squared plus 7x plus 6 thing. So I also know that those two missing circles down here again, these two have to add to 7x, that middle term, because these are going to be like terms that add to 7x. And add to 7x. In other words, this means that the product is going to be, product means multiply, so the product of our two terms is going to be 12x squared, and the sum is going to be 7x. That is sounding familiar, everybody. And this is the crazy part. We have been doing diamond problems all year. We've done them a million times, and all of a sudden, all of that stupid work that we've done actually makes sense. We actually have a reason for it. Yay! Because right now, if I fill in this diamond problem, I'm suddenly back to very familiar territory. Oh, in my homework, I've done this so many times. I just have to think of two numbers that remember their product is going to be, that's multiply. The two things multiply to 12x squared, and their sum, when they add to 7x squared. So I'm going to go back up to what I did earlier, and I'm going to think about splitting my 12x squared into two terms. Okay, so some of you might know where this is going, but I'm just going to go the long way here. So if I have 12x squared, what two terms multiply to 12x squared? Let's go nuts. 12x and x. 6x and 2x. 3x and 4x. I mean, I guess I could go through the negatives, but let's just not get into that right now. Okay, so now that I can't think of any more combinations that would multiply to 12x squared. So now I look and I have to think which one is going to add to 7x. Well, 12x and x do not add to 7x, so that's out of the question. 6x plus 2x is 8x, so it's not that. Oh, ring-a-ding-ding. Look, 3x plus 4x, yay, we got our combination. So I'm going to come back over to my diamond, and I'm going to plug 3x and 4x in here. Yay. Okay, so now I leave my diamond problem behind, and I need to go back to this generic rectangle that we have started, and I need to think about plugging in those two numbers that I just found, my 3x and my 4x, and I need to plug them in so I can write my area as a product and a sum. Cool. So let's do pink. I don't know. This doesn't look that promising. Let's try it. It's a little light, but maybe you guys will be okay. Okay, so I believe in you. 2x squared and, oops, 6x. And our two factors were, or sorry, our two terms that we found were 3x and 4x. So I have those. These two little guys that I found from my diamond go into those missing spots that, what's her face, Kelly was talking about. Okay, so we have 3x and 6x. Ah! Oh my gosh, I wrote this wrong. Just a second. So this should be a 6, my bad. Okay, there we go. Everybody hold on to your seats. There we go. All right, we're back on track. So now our greatest common factor coming out of the 3x and the 6 is 3. GCF of this guy is 2x. GCF x, GCF is 2. 2. Okay. And so now it says write the sum as a product of the factors. So the factored form of this is going to be 2x plus 3 and x plus 2. Whew. You guys are so close to being able to factor from the beginning by yourselves. So let's take a look. On the next page of your notes, we have the step-by-step explanation of how to factor. So starting anew, here's our first official example, start to finish of factoring. Okay, so we have this crazy thing happening. We have 6x squared plus 17x plus 12. And we have to write the area of this as a product instead of as a sum. It's a sum right now. Remember, writing something as a product, that process is factoring. So here we go to factor. So step number 1, put the first and last term in the generic rectangle. That's this guy over here. 6x squared. That's my first term. This is the first term. 6x squared. My last term is 12. Okay, step number 1, done. Step number 2, multiply the first and last term and place them in the top of the diamond. Okay, so I have to multiply 6x squared times 12. 6 times 10 is 60. 6 times 2 is 12. Add those together, and I've got 72x squared. 72x squared. And then I need to go back, and next step, I have to put the middle term in the bottom. My middle term is 17x. Cha-ching. Solve the diamond problem. Now, I really suggest writing the top term off to the side so you can think of two numbers that multiply to 72, or two terms that multiply to 72x squared. So I'm like 72x and x. Or what if I divide it by 2? I could have 36x and 2x. Divided by 3, I could, divided by 4. So I go on, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 8x and 9x. Those two do multiply to 72x squared, but the fun thing is they also add to 17x. So I have 17x and 9x, good to go, and I completed the diamond problem. Step number 4, just kidding, I just did that. Step number 5, place the middle terms from the diamond into the generic rectangle. So I have my 8x here and my 9x here. Bazinga. And then find the greatest common factor of each row and column. I'm going to switch this over to purple because let's be real, we need a change of pace. So we have our 4 here. We have our 3x here, 2x. And I'm doing these fast because you're watching the video. You might need to pause, slow down, and actually think of those for yourself. There's no might. You definitely need to do that. Okay, so you can pause if you want, but the factored form of this giant thing that we started with way up here is, drum roll, 3x plus 4, 2x plus 3, Yay! We did it! Okay. Yay! Perfect.